Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. We kick off race week number 3 here at Belmont at the Big 8. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, and a carryover the pick 6, 44,000. And you have to think, given some of the results, and we had that, was it Saturday? We had that weird one, sort of like
somehow
random ticket hitting it, that we could have had a double carryover, I think.
Probably should have been.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I felt like every race was a double carryover to me last week.
There were
some tough results.
Extremely illogical results, yeah. But I felt this card, we're going to get back to some normalcy.
We'll see.
But we'll see. You never know.
We're not starting with it here. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match the $200 initial deposit. Check out track stats when you were over there as well. As I mentioned, pick 6 carryover, $44,860.
Going through these quick.
Race number 3. I read Ortiz, by the way. Speaking of, there he is. Not riding today. Don't know the story. I'm assuming he's under the weather or something. Hope he's okay. Try to find out what the story is with that. We have Friday contest, $40 buy-in. Try to feed into that Saturday contest, $300 to qualify. Check out all the information, nairabets.com/contest. I believe you have till post time tomorrow to sign up for this. We've got a $5,000 hit and split with a the try in the first race at Churchill.
Wow.
Which I believe is 5 o'clock post. See how many horses there were? There were 7 in it last. There were 7 in it last week. No, it's a 10-horse field as of now. Scratches aren't in. If you want the scratches early from Churchill, you follow Kevin Kirstein. If you're playing Church at all, you should follow Kevin Kirstein. What else do we have? Mayor's Day of the Race is 1 to 5 today, covering all the action on FS2. So race number 1, we should get a little bit of a interesting take on Senza Parole, who buried these horses, as you can see in this video. And I remember watching this race live, and they loved the Brad Cox horse Stunner, who was 4 to 5 in there. And this horse was in a full-out drive trying to keep up with Senza Parole on the turn. Even before this, was sort of under a drive. And it's a very impressive performance by a horse that will likely be an overwhelming favorite in the Rosette next Saturday, a week from Saturday.
I mean, this performance, is it Senza Parole or Parole?
Maybe it's Parole, Senza Parole.
Just remarkable performance from her for Chad Brown. Look, to me, Stunner, who you're going to see way back here in second. Still, I think I think you say, oh, it was so far back. Don't hold this against her, how far back she was. Comes out of this race, too, for Brad Cox. And one you said highly regarded in the debut, and she still might be pretty good.
Yep.
That was just a freak show that she faced first time out. Apparently working against an older, more established mate and outworked that one. According to the DRF Clocker report, borderline B+ work. I think there's a lot to like, and this is the way to go in the Open.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everybody has a little more speed being in front of her last time. We'll see how she's in front of her today. Windflower, the one, could be a little bit interesting. A homebred. The dam was pretty good. She ran figures in the 90s. And the second dam was a turf horse, I think, for Sagamore Stables, actually, going back. But Mott actually trained the dam, as this is a homebred, and I thought that horse might be a little bit interesting of the others.
McPeak for horse, too. Bottomless Mimosa. The dam was a sister to Grade 1 winner Complexity. I don't know. It's an unknown. Works have not sounded astounding. McPeak has said he likes to give his debuters a race usually anyway to figure things out, but they can't win on occasion, as we've seen. And
Complexity was McLean's music as well. Race number 2. A couple of scratches, and particularly, Sue Ellen, Michigan. I'm never shocked when Linda Rice scratches. It makes Athena Beach, who we'll take a look at here, the controlling speed. And while I'm going to pick Mozienko against her, that scratch really helps the chances of Athena Beach, who's the horse to beat.
Yeah, I mean, look, I liked her anyway, and then Sue Ellen, Michigan came out, and I like her a whole lot more now. And as a result, she's going to be a pretty short price in here. She really stepped up and ran a huge career best performance in that Saratoga effort last time out. And I thought, the horse who beat her last time out, there's an argument to be made that horse should have come down in that race. Was continually, gradually leaning out, and I thought it impeded Athena Beach in that.
Okay. No, I have nothing against her. I made these picks when Sue Ellen, Michigan was still in there, and I'm going to try to reawaken Mozienko. And Rick Dutro's barn's been going fairly well. Flavia and Pratt has the mount, and this horse could be relatively close. I remember when somebody said to me, I can't believe that David Jacobson would claim Dennis Lauman's only horse. And I said, claimed a horse for $62,500 that Dennis made a lot of money with, that he claimed for $10,000. I think if he wants the horse back, he can claim it back for less going forward. She's in for $45,000 now. She's a 7-year-old mare. Dennis did very well with her. I don't think he cried too many tears when she got claimed for $62,500, but I thought she has the race to get back to. Maybe Rick can get her back to some of her better form for Dennis Lauman.
She, look, 2, 3, 5 starts back. Those are all races that put her in the mix. She's very dangerous. That last start, obviously, she didn't show up. It went bad from the start. That was much tougher, drops in class. But, yeah, she could absolutely wake up.
It's very hard to make a strong case for anybody else in this race. It feels like one of those two horses will probably win. Race number 3. Yeah, it's funny in race number 3. So the favorite in race number 3 is the 1. Why is the 1 supposed to be favored over the 7 and 8? I don't really understand it, because the horse hasn't run on the turf. It's not exactly a spectacular. I mean, I know why David made the horse favored. It's Chad Brown. I get it. But, you know, you look at Daybright Delights and New York Scrappy, and I think it's important to watch the replay from the start, because it looks like Daylight Delights, who breaks from the rail, had this sort of easy trip stalking, and that's not really what happened. That's New York Scrappy and the Pink Silks going to lead. And Daybright Delights, I don't know what exactly was going on here, but you see him sort of taking back, and then Dylan just realized, I can't really hold this horse in, and sort of sends around horses. So the trip this horse had to get to where he was placed in the race, I thought was a little bit eventful, whereas New York Scrappy just had that very comfortable stalking trip. I thought that Daybright Delights ran the better race of the two of them.
Yeah, and let's focus on the stretch here too, because I saw the same thing you did. I thought it was a little weird swinging outside there and trying to attack the front, but then I just had every opportunity here to get by, and this was a horse who was stepping up from a state-bred maiden 42 that he's not able to get by down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that situation. I thought the horse should have won as well. I just prefer this horse over New York Scrappy. That's a nice shot we got going on there. What are we doing, guys? There you go. I just thought the 7 was the one you wanted out of it, whereas a horse like Amplitude, and we'll show the race in the dirt, I mean, I know the horse actually ran reasonably well in the off-the-turf race. And listen, maybe this horse would have won this race. We can show the replay if you want. Would have won this race if it was on the turf. But I'd rather take horses that have already shown they can run on the turf.
Yeah, there's not... Look, wet track, maybe that translates to grass. The dam was unraced, produced a horse who won for a 12-5 maiden claimer on synthetic, and an 8,000 non-winners at 2 claiming race on synthetic. It's the first foal to actually try the grass. There's not some overwhelming turf pedigree here, but it is Chad Brown. Even when there's no turf pedigree, he gets horses to win on the grass. So you got to use this horse, but to make this horse 9-5, probably going to be a very short price. I'm with you. There's plenty of others I like in here to say, let me try and beat Amplitude.
Well, you're getting a little wise guy here with your top 2 choices, but go ahead.
Well, I'll start with the 5. Midnight Legend, second dam, actually was an 8-time winner on the grass, multiple stakes winner against New York bred, so there's pedigree there. Flame Rock Fire, especially on grass, I love 2 sprints stretching out. This horse can actually get the lead as well, was on the lead sprinting 5.5, and that first time usually going longer.
I thought the horse would be in front too. I don't know how the pace projector has this horse not in the lead.
Yeah,
I don't get that at all. I assumed this horse would be in front. I wish I liked the races a little bit, but listen, this is a wild card. Taking the horse away from Jose Cameo, but he hasn't really been winning Jose Cameo. So I get it. He is a stranger in this race. The problem with Midnight Legend is the dam herself was 1 for 22. She handled the turf, but her production has been awful. I mean, she had 1 win in the turf, but they were bad horses.
Nope,
that's what worried me about the 5. But the horse is a huge price, so I'm not gonna knock that horse. Flame Rock Fire is clearly kind of a wise guy horse, and with the horse that I liked later today that was scratched, might be kind of the wise guy horse in the card today. First time against New York breds as well.
But having said that, we're trying to beat this Amplitude horse, and the horse did run decent, a stronger figure than most have, I know, on a wet track. absolutely could win.
I'm not against Amplitude. I just don't think he's a very good favorite in this race or a great. I don't
agree.
even think Patronage is impossible in this race. And Kendrick is riding this one, a horse that did some running in a pretty reasonable race, going short first time out for Todd Pletcher. Don't love the layoff, don't love the post, but this horse is not completely impossible in here.
I'm absolutely using this horse in my multi-race wagers. Yeah, I probably should have put those horse a little bit higher, but yeah, long time away, but it's Pletcher, not concerned. New gelding, getting laced, a lot of changes, but ran proficient first time on the grass.
I agree. I thought the horse ran okay in what was a decent enough race, at least for the first couple of finishers. Race number 4, I don't think there's much doubt that Beautiful Thief is the horse to beat in race number 4. And I don't think there's been a rider named on the 5 that I read was named on. A horse you have on top and I have second. We'll take a look at the last race. This horse has speed. This horse can rate. There's other speed in the race with the number 7 and maybe the number 11 as well. I don't know what there is to not like about this horse.
Yeah, there's so much to like. Even the debut. I know we're looking at the win here.
Debut was very good. How did this horse pay $650 last time? He should have paid $350.
Yeah.
One of the overlays of the entire meeting at Saratoga.
The debut was against Strictly Taboo for Clement, who came back and won next time out, improving 4 buyer points.
Got involved in a wacky pace stool,
Yeah.
too.
Hot,
This horse
21
ran
at 244
extremely
flat.
well.
And doesn't need the lead, can sit, stalk, but has the ability to be forward. There's just a ton to like. And that was a huge forward move. I have that, the figures I look at has that as the quickest race anyone in this race has run.
Everybody had Buyer, Timeform, everybody has this horse, the horse to beat. And by the way, Eric Ansel's riding Javier Castellano in the past. Javier is coming back next Thursday, October 3rd. We'll be looking forward to him
that's
getting
good to
back. No, I don't have a knock on this horse at all, except it's not a knock. I just want to bet a couple of dollars on Aunt Yola. I thought Aunt Yola ran well enough to be competitive in this race 2 races back. And I thought was a reasonable alternative because we'll show a quick replay. Quick Power Nap and Linerate never wants to win. Quick Power Nap I feel like is very similar and got a fabulous ride cutting the corner last time out to get second in that race. I'm just not thrilled with them. So the question is there somebody else you want to win? And if I'm going to try to beat the 4, I'm going to try to do it with Aunt Yola, a horse that ran well enough 2 races back, and I don't really know what their plan was with this horse last time. Broke a little slow, but I'm not sure how this horse was so far out the back door.
Yeah, I think everyone's just going to forget and give up on this horse because that just horrific effort last time out. But you have to go back to that turf debut, which was really good, which was a huge price that day as well. But I think off that performance, if you can put a line through that last race, there's plenty to like in this spot.
So out of position in that last race.
No question.
What about She Takes Cash, the 2, turning back for Savvy Joseph? He doesn't have horrible numbers turning back, but they're helped by a couple big prices, and I don't really know where her good races are. I just put her in 3rd because she's kind of a wise guy horse for a trainer who I don't think you're not paying attention if you hadn't noticed that Sappy Joseph's horses have been running off the screen.
Look, I took a hard look at this horse. We don't know about sprinting. A horse actually never sprinted.
Right. Yeah, I don't love these kind of
But the
turnbacks.
barn
I just put
alone,
right.
You're right. You have to take a hard look at this
Because
horse.
I don't want the others to win. I'm not saying that horses like the 1 and the 9 are they're probably better than where I placed them in my to finish, but I'm not using them in the win end because they just don't win.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
In the end, by the way, is one. It's I don't not sure who's riding, but
Yeah, we don't have a rider yet.
Trying to win 4 in a row, coming in from a couple of wins at Monmouth and Colonial.
Big jump up though for this horse. This is a tougher spot. We'll take
The finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Jose Gomez riding the 5 in race number 4 from Dave Grenig of the Daily Racing Form. IRAD flights were canceled because of the storm.
Oh,
He was
okay.
in Florida visiting family. His flight was canceled, so not able to make it back. We hope he gets back soon. He can't be happy missing a day of riding,
Not
even
that
on a
guy.
Thursday.
Nope.
It doesn't matter what day of the week. And Frankie Dettori is scheduled to come back and ride on Sunday, so he's off his mounts, and I assume be off any mounts he has. I don't know if he has any mounts, but if he has any mounts going
Yeah,
into
he-
those,
yeah,
I mean, not after today. I'm not sure. I think he was out after we drew those cards. Race number 5. I'm going to tell you something. The horse I was most interested in betting on this entire day was Moose Mandy.
Okay.
This was a very, very strange horse. Obviously, I wouldn't have ridden, but what this horse was doing here. But of course, there were 6 total scratches, 4 races. 2 of them were my top choices. They really found me. Those are the body of the race scratches. We'll show Sendera, the horse that you have on top. My problem is this horse may win. Man, she is not much horse, Greg. I get it, but she's a tough one to really be too enthused over.
I'll say this. She's not beating much of anything in this race. It was not a quick race, but she did bobble out of the gate. She was wide early, and she did make this massive, long, sustained move against, yes, a bottom level, but it's the level she's in against today again. And there's no superstars in here.
She's the worst
She
to
ran.
beat. She's the worst to beat. It's not even close, to be honest with you. The others just haven't run well. I don't want to put her on top, so I put the 5, who would have been my third choice. I went 4-2-5, but I didn't want to put the 2 on top. I'll put Nikki Brain Trust on top, Brain Burst on top, excuse me, in here. A horse we liked last time out. I'd like to see this horse get a little bit more of an aggressive ride from Dylan. Now, not really likely to be in front with Steppenhawk in there because Steppenhawk is extremely fast. I just like to see the horse ridden with a little more intention to be forward and see if it works out. I mean, what? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a point about something else.
Go ahead. The 11's the speed?
Eddie Barker's got a couple in here. So
Eddie Barker's very live.
He's got Widow at 30-1, and he's got Dreaming of Carly at 8-1. DRF Clock Report has Widow just dusting that horse head-to-head in a workout.
Really?
Yeah.
That might just be terrible for the number 9. But hey, I don't know. This horse could be a total wild card in this race. And Eddie won 2 races the other day, including that big long shot here that won the horse I'd liked in Saratoga that came back to win. Reddington. And Eddie's one of these trainers that can get very streaky. And I wouldn't be shocked. I think that's a great point. Maybe Widow just kind of a long shot to look at. Why don't you throw Widowed in anywhere?
I will be.
You didn't put in your picks anywhere.
I think if it's not Sendera or Nikki Brainburst, who I don't even have the top 4 in there, I do think you got to use Nikki Brainburst in the 11. I'm going to go fairly deep.
Wayne Potts' barn has been pretty live over here, so maybe this horse can outrun his odds.
Yeah,
Just
so
run
digital
some figures, okay.
Digital Currency, that last race, was at Delaware, but it was open company. Was part of a 4-way duel up front between horses. Had to check out of there. And if you look at that race, checks out of that duel and actually does re-rally and make a move and just tires late.
Where'd the speeds finish? I didn't look it up.
Yeah, I didn't write that down, but I have to go back and
probably
look.
some ahead of them. The 7 is a firster when you're strange, spelled incorrectly. I don't know. I mean, Chris Engler doesn't have great numbers with firsters. He's 2 for 24 at Naira with first-time starters and maiden claimers and dirt sprints. But in this field, I wouldn't want to ignore this horse, and Flavian's riding.
With all these 0 for 11, 0 for 23, 0 for 8, 0 for 19.
Right.
Yeah.
How can you completely leave this horse out?
I agree.
May not be able to run, but there's really not much running going on in this field. Race number 6 is the John Hettinger. And I'm going to show the Yotto, where Moonage Daydream sort of had his day. But I think the story from this race, there's a couple stories. Marvelous Maud really refound her form a little bit. And Marvelous Maud and What Love look like they're the ones most likely to handle mile and eighth. You know how much I love Joel Rosario, but this was just a ridiculously bad ride in Silver Skillet. I have no idea what he was thinking with this horse. The horse kind of ran off and wired the field. Why they took this horse back and ends up being 3 wide the whole way, I'll never know. And I expect Silver Skillet to run better. And we can go right to the replay of that horse winning the Port Washington. I mean, isn't he supposed to go
On the lead, she is probably the horse to beat, right?
Yeah, I mean, the question is she going to be in front or is Moonage Daydream faster? Can she sit second to her? She's going to have better position than she had last time because she's got to come out and be forward today, right?
Oh, no question. Yeah, I mean, she has that race 2 back. I think everyone might be in trouble in this spot.
But it was a 4-horse field.
I question the distance a little bit.
That's why you have the 6 on top because she's the one probably she and Marvelous Maud are most likely to get the mile and an eighth effectively, right?
Yeah, and look, What Love looks like, another one too, who she did come out of the gate just a little bit sluggish, and that caused her to get pinched and squeezed, and so she was further back than she usually is. She's going to be closer today, I would assume, And I think second off the bench, she's going to have more finish too.
Yeah, I get it. My general feeling was I'm just sick of these horses. I've just seen enough of Marvelous Maud. I've seen enough of Marvelous Maud refound her form last time. Okay, that's fair. She had been terrible in her 2 previous starts, and maybe she's turning it back around. And if she does, she can certainly win. And I don't disagree about what Love's looked like. Horse could be forward. Horse is good at the distance. I've never really liked her that much as a horse. I think she was opportunistic when she was successful, but I get it. I'm just sick of all of them. I think Moon Edge Daydream last time was the time. He got an overlay of 13-1 on her. She should have been about half that price. And Silver Skillet did not get the best of rides in there. So I'm going to go to a totally new face in here, and the 5 Can't Fool Me. And we'll show Can't Fool Me wins last time. And I fully recognize this is a completely different bunch of horses she's running against today. But she buried this field last time, and maybe she's just finally getting her act together. I mean, she is dramatically improved for Horacio, is she not? You don't think this race gives her a chance here?
But as you said, this is going to be an entirely different level of competition.
No
but
question
you're
about
right.
it.
Maybe she's just getting good right now.
She crushed these horses. And I just wonder if she's a horse that's improving with every start for Horacio. And I want her. Today is the day. If she can class up in these horses today, they get a price. And?
She loves mile and an eighth. I mean, she loves it against the competition she's been facing. But she's been very effective at a mile and an eighth.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the distance with her. Today is the day to take a shot with her. Maybe she's just not good enough. But I just don't love them. I feel like the stakes horses overall in this division have not been that strong that I don't mind taking a shot with a new face.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just feel like we've seen them for a long, long time. We'll see what happens. Race number 7 is a very, very strong race. I saw you and I agreed here. And we'll take a look at when Blazing Sevens was able to beat Full Screen, who came back and got the job done at Saratoga with a very good trip. And I just feel like this horse is a true miler. I don't even think he ran that badly going a mile and an eighth last time. I know he was second in the Preakness, but I think he's a better one-turn miler, a horse who won the Champagne here at Aqueduct in the Slop 2 years ago.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that the mile is what he wants to do. And I really liked his race last time out when he was 4th against Warrior Johnny. Was just head and shoulders clear of that field. He was in with the rest of that bunch, which is, I think, a better group than what he's going to face here. Warrior Johnny, for some reason, always runs these insane races at Saratoga, almost elite older horse category races, just at Saratoga for some reason. But I do like that race with 6 wide in that spot. And as you said, this is a miler. I think he's going to be really tough.
And I'm just not in love with anybody in this field. Like Rocket Can and Win It. Now, you've got Win It second, and you know I love Win It. But I don't know. The problem I have with Win It is he had an outside post last time. He always seems to get left when he has inside posts.
He does.
And this is a problem if he gets left in here. I scratched into Rocket Can for 4th in here. This was a pathetic loss for Rocket Can. I know he lost to William Walden, whose horses indiscriminately seem to run well sometimes, but still, I mean, what a perfect trip. Junior gave this horse as perfect a trip as you could give a horse, and he still got run down. He's just a horse that always gets bet, and I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not saying he's impossible. I just prefer others.
Yeah, look, it's 3rd off the bench. He's a player. I think I'd be scared to not use him. Your point to Win It, he does usually always have problems out of the gate. Although I will say, like, that outside, he did make the lead and he got to the front. But usually outside is not where you want to be in that Wilson chute. But he actually got to where he wanted to be.
That's the post where you want to be for your Win It, because it's an easier post to not get left.
He did get out good 3 starts ago and he won. And he was forward and kept on going. He's got races that are as good as anybody in here on their best day. But you're hoping he gets out clean.
I like him better than I like the horse on the rail, and even Phileas Fogg, who we'll look at. And Phileas Fogg, I don't know what price he's going to be. It's a tough morning line to make. But this was a gimmick track. As we got late in the day on Whitney Day, nobody was making up any ground. And I just feel like he's a little bit dressed up from this race. And I know he's run well before, but I think this is a completely different ball of wax for him. I just feel like Win It. If I want horses forward, I'd rather take Win It.
Yeah, I think Phileas Fogg is up against this level of competition. There's some very good, just cut below top tier level horses in here. I was really intrigued by Untreated, who came out.
I thought he was very live in here. I don't think he would have been 20-1, but I thought he was live. I'm interested in Unbridled Bombers, the closers. He gets Joel Rosario, who's probably the right kind of rider for this horse. A guy will just wait and wait and wait. And I like him at a one-turn mile. And he didn't run that badly either last time out, his first start off a layoff.
Yeah.
And I thought if you want to use a price, he's the one I'll try to get in there. So I'm going to be mostly 6s and 12s.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. We're on for this race together?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes. Yeah, we're on.
I love this race today. I'm intrigued to see what happens.
So race number 8, I see that you and I agree in here, and it's funny because the horse that we picked is 5-1 or 4-1 morning line. Be There, and I know that Be There looks like a lifetime loser. And you know what? Can we switch to the replays and show Be There's last race?
Ricardo's going to ride today, by the way.
Thank you. Do you remember I bet this horse last time? I think I was on with you. I know I bet this horse. Maybe I was on with Acacia. I'm not sure. This is a turf sprinter, and he's only got 5 turf sprints. And it feels like just about every one of them are better in this field.
Yeah.
And the horse that beat him, I know a lot of people are going to look at the third finisher, who was favored here last week and was a no-show. But the horse who won this race ran a 72 buyer here, an 80 buyer sprinting in his next start, and a 92 buyer in his next start. And I thought this horse ran extremely well. It was a no-pace race, relatively speaking. He was wide. They were doing all the running inside. I don't know what there is to not like about this horse, to be honest with you.
I'm with you. The only thing I'll say, he had the outside post that day, was 4 wide throughout basically the entire race. Right. And as you mentioned, Horsepower 2 starts later ran that monster effort to win again with a 90-plus buyer victory. He did get to chase down a pretty hot pace in that race, but
I don't know how hot the pace was. I don't know if those paces are hot there just because it looks fast on paper.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like the race was falling apart, did it? I mean,
this might be a pretty good horse too. That he was.
Yeah, that's my feeling. And Betagogo, the 5, who I have second, was second to a heavy favorite in this race. But it is the only turf sprint, and it does seem fairly logical for Betagogo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like him quite a bit. He's probably not going to be 4-1. But there's a lot of options here. Sassy Alley, Betagogo, and then as you said, Reverend Moon's going to take money just with the sheer drop in class for Clement.
I don't like him.
I put on what I am second.
I know he was in a better field last time. I don't know. Clement's numbers dropping are pretty good. At Nairi, he's 7 for 21, maiden special weight to maiden claimer and turf sprints with the 217 ROI. I just don't love that horse. I mean, he can win. I didn't want him at that price.
I just think he has the ability, even with that outside post, has the ability to get forward.
Yeah. What about the fact that Joel Rosario is riding the other one, the other Clement first-time starter? It's not a ton of turf pedigree, but it is the factor, and I love the factors in the turf. The 8's the wise guy horse, right? The horse that lost his action last time, but I don't have any feelings this horse necessarily can run at all. But I don't know. Lynn is trying again.
Took no money. I know it was a better field first time out, but with 36-1.
It was a bizarre trip. This horse had broke a couple lengths slow, just completely lost its action top of the stretch. Sassy Alley, the filly against the boys, I didn't love the race she's coming out of. I don't know. I guess horses have come back out of that race and run fairly well. I just thought she'd have to improve out of that effort. No, you don't think so?
It was her first time on grass. It was off a short layoff. And it was first time with blinkers too. I thought she could take a step forward.
Okay.
But I'm with you. I heavily like the 2 here.
I like Be There, but maybe Be There doesn't want to win. It's 16 starts, but only 5 of them are in turf sprints, and I think that's important to note. And 8 of them are on the turf.
It's a good sequence though for this late pick 5 and this pick 6 carryover.
I agree. Who are the lean? Let's see. Race 3, there's no major lean in there. You could use a bunch, and you've got goofy ideas. I guess Beautiful Thief might be a big lean for people in race number 4, the second leg. Probably a reasonable lean. I guess Sindara is a lean, but it's a tough horse to go to.
Lean.
Right? It's tough to get too excited about that horse.
Race 6, no way.
We obviously feel like it's open. We have different opinions there.
I feel like Blazing Sevens is going to take a lot more money than 7-2, don't you?
Yeah, it's a big field. There are a couple scratches. I don't know. I guess. I mean, does Chad Brown? Maybe. Stake-faced? Yeah, probably. But I mean, how much shorter can 5-2? Doors can't be really shorter than 5-2.
No, I'm thinking 5-2.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a heavy lean.
But that's not a huge lean. There's a lot going on in that race, and even the last race is fairly open. Probably Beautiful Thief is probably the biggest lean of the sequence.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
In race number 4, once again, a reminder, Irad Ortiz not riding. We hope he's able to get back. Bad weather for the Mets, too. They got to play a doubleheader on Monday. to make up those 2 games in a pennant chase. Really. And worst of all, I didn't get to watch the game last night
Why not?
because they didn't play. They were rained out.
Oh. Sorry, I'm not following right now.
Well, that's right, because you just. I was going to joke about the Dodgers buying a team, but it's not like the Mets didn't buy a team as well.
Everyone's buying a
Dodgers
team.
did it better. That guy Otani's pretty good.
6 for 6. Insane.
One of the greatest players in the history of the game, no question. And wait till he starts pitching again next year. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. Head on over and check out Track Stats while you're over there as well. We also have a $40 feeder tomorrow. Oh no, we have the carryover. $44,860 starts in race number 3. And we've got the feeder contest now, $40. You have till post time tomorrow to sign up for that. Get more information. Of course, $300 Saturday. All these contests can only be played through Naira Bets. And we have 5,000 hit and split, the first trifecta at Churchill. I think that post time is 5 o'clock last week at Churchill.
You got to play that trifecta now, right?
Oh, I'm all in, my entire account.
Being
And
serious.
It's actually a great, I can't imagine it's not a way to get a little extra money. And finally, we're on from 1 to 5 on FS2, covering all the action. Greg, thanks. I'll see you up there. I'm on at 2:20. You're doing the whole show.
I'll warm it up for you, yeah.
You're-
Doing the entire card.
You're amazing. You're like a machine. I don't know how you do it. 4 hours, a long time. It's a long
excited.
shift. I'm looking forward to it as well. Chris Griffin up next. Reprise Scratches and Changes in just a few moments.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Belmont at the Big A. Thursday afternoon of racing action, 8 races on today's card. There is a pick 6 carryover. Main track is fast, turf is firm. Here are today's scratches and changes. Race 1, start of the early pick 5. Scratch the 3, Root Sensation. The 7, make the jockey Manny Franco. Race 2, start of the early pick 4. Scratch the 2, Back by Gold. Jockey aboard the number 5, Flavien Prat. Scratch the 7, Sue Ellen Michigan. Race 3, start of the pick 6. That carryover is $44,860. Jockey aboard the number 10, make it Kendra Carmouche. Scratch the 11, English Castle. Scratch the 12, Executive Move. And scratch the 13, Tis the Prince. Race 4, start of the late pick 5. Jockey aboard the number 5, make it Jose Gomez. Scratch the 12, Mim, and scratch the 13, First Class Cat. Race 5, start of the late pick 4. Scratch the 4, Moose Mandy. Jockey aboard the number 11, make it Katie Davis. Weight is 121. Race 6, jockey aboard the number 2, make it Manny Franco. Jockey on the 9, make it Ruben Silvera. Scratch the 10, Sterling Silver. Scratch the 11, Amanda's Folly. Scratch the 12, Sweetest Princess, and scratch the 13, Cinderella's Cause. Race 7, scratch the 4, Sheriff Bianco. Jockey aboard the number 7, make it John Velasquez, and scratch the 8, Untreated. Race 8, jockey aboard the number 2, Flavien Prat. Scratch the 11, War Stride. Scratch the 12, Glint. Scratch the 13, Holton. Scratch the 14, Always Be Smart. Scratch the 15, First Trumpet. And scratch the 16, Shakin' the Bell. 8 races on today's card. May track fast, turf is firm. Pick 6 carryover starts in race number 3 on today's program, and that carryover over $44,000. Race 1, the early pick 5 is next. Belmont at the Big A. Good luck.
Horse racing? Check. Weekly promotions? Got 'em. Huge payouts? You bet. With Naira Bets. Download the app today and bet on any track, anywhere, anytime with live HD horse races, betting tips and tutorials, expert picks, and more. You bet with Naira Bets. Join now for a new member bonus at nairabets.com.